one. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and good evening for all of you that are here. It is about an hour later than intended, but we are finally here with Anza White versus Always Slept On. Anza White had to substitute approximately 75% of their team due to power outages in the San Francisco Bay Area. So they have chosen, after deliberation with ASO and OCL staff, to sacrifice their first 3 bans in exchange for this game continuing. That being said, we are getting started here. My name is Aulz. I am your host for the evening. Since Nyarko has already left for the evening, we are joined this evening by Zarathai. Welcome to the desk, my friend.
Hey, I'm glad to be here again. I'm not as glad that it's happening under these circumstances, which are a little bit scuffed and, I'd say a little straining on the current situation, but it's going to be exciting if nothing else.
It's going to be an experience indeed. We are getting started with some fairly standard bans here. Jin, Camille, and Annie being taken off the table. Maokai will be the first pick for the Anza squad. Thresh Caitlyn is going to be the response. That's a nice safe bot lane. Thresh able to put in a lot of work to keep Caitlyn safe while lots of damage comes through.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Thresh Caitlyn. I've seen it have a lot of potential in the past, but it doesn't feel like it's really reading into what the meta is on the current patch. I mean, you certainly do not expect to see anything other than Lux really paired with the Caitlyn right now, unless it's going to be a Caitlyn flex to support. But obviously, Thresh being locked in would make that a little difficult.
Hey, Thresh ADC is a thing, has been a thing forever. It's not a
I,
valid
I
thing in
you
this
know,
season, but it's a thing.
I, sure, you got me there. We have Malachi Swain and Lux on the side of Deanza White. I think that's incredibly magic damage heavy. I'm not sure where they're going to pivot from here. They still have the marksman to pick, obviously, and they also have the jungle to pick, but
Well, we
I'm
could be seeing a Swain ADC here, with some kind of AD focused
that's
mid lane and top lane.
that's true. All right, we're remaking the lobby. Fantastic.
Yep, draft will continue as is while the lobby is being remade. We're just having some technical issues on the side. Nothing is ever easy around here. Last match we had Nyarko, who was unable to see the match because he got kicked out of the lobby because Riot is scuffed. This game, we've got players that just can't enter the lobby because Riot is scuffed. So we'll just keep vibing.
Absolutely.
The Aurelion Soul
It's
ban
just
here is technically unnecessary. Unfortunately, we did make a mistake last match. Aurelion Soul was released on this patch and therefore should not have been available. Unfortunately for Optimal Esports, the Aurelion Soul was not the issue. So, doesn't look like that's going to be any problem in terms of rule books. I do like the Sylas pickup here for Always Slept On, though, into the Maokai, into the Lux, even to some extent into the Swain. Being able to steal those ultimates is pretty powerful. The Quinn here is, as well, a good AD-focused top laner, and has been doing adequately in
I
ranked
I mean, I
play.
feel like good is a very strong word. We have seen the shy pull out. I believe it was 3 times so far in the LPL this season. But they also have the added benefit of the fact that the LPL is still playing on 13.1. So a lot of the meta is still a little wacky compared to what it is, or what it probably would be right now. That's gonna be a Malzahar as the final lock in the return of the anti-fun button. Love to see it.
This, I guess it is the Swain ADC. I joked about it. I don't love it here, especially not with the Malzahar, because that puts a lot of pressure on the Quinn, who's primarily an assassin, to be the sustained AD threat. But for Kled, for Thresh, and for whoever they choose in the mid lane, a Galio would be gorgeous here. But you just build MR, and suddenly this team of ASO or DAW cannot do anything.
Yeah, we have some rather eccentric drafts on both sides. It's the Silas jungle then? I mean, it could be Kled jungle. I've seen it. I don't think either is particularly good on this patch. I feel like the
I,
Anza White has an incredible bias towards magic damage and always slept on. I don't feel like I personally see the end game of their composition. It feels like they have, Kled and Silas who want to dive in, Caitlyn and Thresh Caitlyn who wants to be able to sit back and ramp through the early game power and skip the mid game, and then Thresh and Cinder who want to be looking to make picks, but it feels like they're all playing a slightly different game.
I wonder if any of this is due to the kind of mental fatigue of having waited for this game, thought this game was canceled, brought back into it. Perhaps they're in more of a solo queue mindset. For Anza White, obviously, these are players who have not played with each other. This is a whole bunch of emergency substitutions, so perhaps they're not all on the same page and looking to just stick with comfort champions.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a clear idea here, but it's definitely going to be an interesting game, if not a particularly standard one.
Yeah, and for anyone who's wondering what the context of that is, there's a power outage apparently for 3 of Anza White's players. So at least 3 of their players are substitutes, I believe. And as far as I know, we've waited about 1 hour and 15 minutes from when the match was originally supposed to start in order for this game to be able to happen.
Yep, we are still here though, you know? So,
for better or for worse, we are still here.
Yep. So, looking at the picks, it looks like that is going to be a Quinn top, Maokai jungle, Malzahar mid, Swain ADC, and Lux support. Their choices. Choices are being made here.
Yeah, there's definitely choices being made. I feel like the choices were already made poorly the moment you locked in Swain and Lux in the same rotation. And fantastically, everyone's out of order.
Yep, we'll get that sorted for everyone before we get into game. That being said, is there anything here in this draft that jumps out at you as meriting conversation, Zarathai? Anything that we haven't touched on already?
I mean, I think the only thing that hasn't really been touched on yet is the fact that Silas theoretically is going to be able to be an X factor in this game. He does have 2 pretty good ultimates to steal in the Maokai and the Malzahar ultimate. I'm just not sure that there's I don't I don't really feel like there's a common plot thread for either of these teams that we could actually pick at and try to understand what's going to happen until it unfolds in front of us, unfortunately.
I tend to agree. There's not much of an idea, but we're going to be watching it anyway, and when a plot becomes apparent, we'll be here to talk about it. For now, though, we're going to step aside, send it to break for just a couple of minutes as we wait for spectator delay to tick down so that nobody cheats off this stream as much as they might want to listen to our lovely, lovely voices. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with the first game of this series, the fourth, actually, of Week 1, Anza White facing off against Always Slept On. So don't go anywhere, folks, because we're going to have more action right after this. ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back onto the Rift. We have Anza White on the blue side and Always Slept on the red. We may be an hour late, but we are having fun nonetheless. Looks like we're going to have a 5-man invade here from Always Slept On. The power of that Thresh. But there is a 5-man bunch from Anza White ready to respond.
Yeah, the 5-man stack from Anza White looking to suss out any potential invade attempts, but Always Slept On is going for the long wrap around on the red buff. They may be able to find Kasuzu.
Yeah,
On the
Kasuzu a
point, who
little
does
bit.
not have the teleport. Oh my gosh.
No way. We're gonna get a inverted
We're
fight
getting
here.
a bloodbath.
Kasuzu.
We're getting a bloodbath.
First hook is landed by the Swain. Derpington already dismounted, but Canyon down under 100 health. Flash forward from Lettuce is going to scare first blood. Kasuzu flashing over the wall, trying to get the kill onto Derpington, but he's going to remount here. Gets back on the horse, gets the kill onto Kasuzu, who does not get anything. Yushu Yoshi now in trouble, under 200 health. Flash forward from Headshot King, lands the hook. Yuzu Yoshi under 100 health. Can they get it? Yes, Shizumoso picks up a third kill, and look at Derpington, my friends. He is sitting at 25 health on Kled proper. He is so lucky that he remounted when he did.
That was not luck. That was 100% calculated and skill.
Yeah,
fun fact, every single time Kled remounts, it's always an outplay.
Clearly. Well,
yeah, you may not have known that, but just hot facts coming at you.
I see. That's definitely how it feels when you're playing against him in the top lane. Just pure skill champ.
Absolutely. He skill checks you every time, dude.
Yeah,
anyways,
of course.
Yeah, really exciting opening to the game. It doesn't look like anyone other than the jungler for Always Slept On got a chance to recall and spend their purchases, so it's actually going to be pretty even to start it out.
Yeah, it is going to be pretty even till the first back, but there is a lot of resources burned. Kasuzu has no sums, Just Canyon has no flash, Yushu Yoshi has no sums, Traveler Paul and Cold Hearted have no ghost or flash respectively. On the other side for Always Slept On, Derpington has no sums, Hold My Poodle has no flash, Lettuce is no sums, and Headshot King is down to just that Hex Flash, which is arguably more powerful than the flash because it gives you the time to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, the time to double check your thought process is incredibly invaluable as a support player, I find. I can't help but notice that it would have been a lot faster if we had simply listed the spells that were still available.
Yes, but that would require me to do smart thinking, and at this point in the night, that is beyond me.
I'm going to be real with you. That's beyond me at any point, night or day.
That's very fair. Major push-in from Kasuzu here, up 2 levels on Derpington, likely because of the early health advantage caused by that unintentional back in the jungle. Derpington will catch up a little bit here after picking up this wave, but the range advantage still making that top lane a little bit less than fun for the ASO top laner. Cold Hearted taking a lot of damage, gets hit by the hook, and that's going to be another kill for Lettuce. Now 2-0-2, sitting on nearly 1,500 gold in pocket at 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely kind of a go next angle if you're playing against it. It always feels like Caitlyn getting ahead too much too early is so incredibly oppressive. We're not going to be seeing that for quite a while yet. But Lettuce taking a little chip of damage from the Vision of the Empire under tower.
Yeah, gonna stay in lane though. Bit aggressive.
Staying in lane. They really want to crash just one more wave. I'm not sure what they're holding out for. He has 1,600 gold, maybe trying to get enough for a call and a Noon Quiver?
As an ex-support player, I can almost guarantee that it was Headshot King wanting to greed for the Relic Shield stack, or the Shoulder Guard stack on the cannon.
You know what? Understandable. I respect it. When in doubt, greed for cannon. As an ADC, that's been my entire life motto. It has never failed me.
Hey, remember.
Except the times it has.
Wards save lives, and that 90 gold, that's a control ward right there. That could be the difference between this Caitlyn continuing to scale infinitely and this Caitlyn dying to a Maokai gank.
It could be the difference between those two things, or it could mean that they delayed their back for little to no reason. Regardless,
Well,
we
yes.
see Derpington getting harassed by the Falconeer under tower.
Yeah, isn't
And
very close
yeah,
to that
the
level
the
6,
melee
but
ranged matchup.
is going to be remounting here shortly. With a single shot, there it comes. The
The
Silas and the
Ignite goes
Syndra
down.
on the way. Kasuzu running out of health, and Kasuzu's actually going to die solo here. The remount just so powerful for the Kled, and getting the Ignite up in time for that fight made sure that he was able to survive.
Yeah, we see Traveler Paul positioning really aggressively. They really want to find some trades, try and eke out some kind of an advantage on the map. They know that Kasuzu's losing. They need to be able to find the push in bot lane. But I just don't see it. I don't feel like this is a composition that you can dive the Caitlyn Thresh.
No, I mean, Swain does have a lot of innate tankiness, is sitting at over 1,000 health already. The Maokai sitting in the bush does have 800 health of his own, but at this point, towers do so much, the Lux dies in 2 hits. And Lettuce, with the full Noon Quiver, with boots, can just turn out so much damage that it would be ridiculous to attempt to dive here, and I don't think they're going to get it on the bounce either.
Yeah, I mean, Just Canyon is wasting so much time. He's looking for the Ling Yank. I guess maybe the dive was never the option, but I don't know. It feels weird. I mean, actually, no. I guess in retrospect, they were probably just looking to prevent the gank.
Kleddle being used topside
Preemptively.
doesn't land onto Kasuzu.
That
However,
was
the damage still coming out.
weird.
Kasuzu down under half health, but Derpington without spells has to back away. Eyes in the sky show Kasuzu, the Kled running away, but not going to be able to turn a whole lot more damage.
Yeah, Derpington
Going
really
back in
trading
here,
aggressively
actually.
already. Oh my gosh.
Very aggressive. Kasuzu bouncing back towards the turret, tries to flash away. Derpington does have a pocket pistol here. Can he find the angle? Derpington running very close. Kasuzu down under 100 health again. One more stab will do it, and pocket pistol secures a 3rd kill in the top lane. Headshot King and going in on to Traveler Paul, who's down under 100. Lettuce is forced to flash away as Just Cannon has finally managed to pull off this gank in the bot side, but it doesn't matter. Cold Hearted is actually the first to die. Ace in the hole comes out, doesn't quite kill Traveler Paul as the shutdown lands. Just Canyon manages to secure that. The mid laner of DAW is roaming down, trying to find Headshot King, but here comes Hold My Poodle looking to trade on to the other jungler, will secure it. However, Headshot King has fallen. Traveler Paul secures that. That is a major shutdown, 450 gold in the pockets of the Maokai, but I still think the even trade benefits the snowballing team here.
Yeah, I think that it's really good that they did get the shutdown on the Caitlyn. I'm just concerned that they invested a lot of resources to come out pretty much net neutral, and I don't know. It going onto the Maokai makes it really hard for the Anza White to actually be able to find a continued lead anywhere. Like, they don't have any more angles to push just because Maokai gets to his demonic embrace any faster. He's not building, the pure tank build, so he's not going to become some unkillable monster. But he's not building full AP either, so it's not like he's going to be able to one-shot anyone. It's really difficult to find the way back in, and, well, that's maybe it right there.
Yeah, Cold Hearted getting hooked once again, down under half health from a single Piltover Peacemaker. Lettuce does not have the ace in the hole, but still manages to drive the Lux, who is 2 levels down away. Hold My Poodle does get ganked here in the jungle, will fall after having taken the Nature's Grasp. Lettuce and Headshot King now perhaps in trouble as the Quinn and Just Canyon are roaming down. However, the Lantern gets Lettuce out for now. Kasuzu trying to chase this down, uses the kick onto Headshot King, but gets hooked under the turret. Just Canyon going low here is going to fall to the next turret shot, and Lettuce trades 1 for 1. Yushu Yoshi is finally equalizing the plates in the mid lane, but look at all this time that Kled has spent alone here in the top side. Has this turret plate down to just 1 more before this wave will fall. Lettuce maybe in a little bit of trouble looking to get the counter dive. Kasuzu running very low will fall to the turret. No! Dies to minions, but Lettuce does die as well. Now 4-2 and 4. But again, this is all the resources of Anza White being shoved into this bot lane to try and salvage a lane that is destroyed. And meanwhile, Derpington and Shizumoto are just scaling infinitely. Hold My Poodle is going to find the return kill onto Traveler Paul here. More than likely, the Demonic Ascension is not going to be nearly enough. Derpington is finally being attacked, but the turret has already fallen. First turret has been gifted over to ASO. And now, with the resources being spent topside, it's Shizumoto that gets a turn being left alone. Is going to put a ton of damage down on Suzu. Nearly kills him with a single rotation. This is a Syndra that only has a Ludens, by the way. This is not a late-game Syndra, and is able to do this just about freely.
Oh my
this is
gosh,
ridiculous.
Kasuzu. What a psychopath. Going for the remount, or the... I don't even know what Quinn's ultimate is called. Going for the Valor mount right there.
Behind enemy lines.
Under tower.
Now, I will say, if nothing else, Just Canyon is getting the Rift Herald now. Could be looking to break a turret. Derpington
and
slow to respond.
There's still lots
of
time
side.
to be collecting the plates, so it makes a lot of sense that they're going for the Herald. I actually kind of like the heads-up play from Kosuzu, like, you know, acknowledging, okay, I'm never going to be able to play the lane against Cloud again, and deciding to just roam. Just instead ruin Syndra's life, try and make bot lane a lot harder to play. It looks like Syndra's getting targeted out again.
Yeah, Syndra is going to fall here for the first time this game. Another gank from Just Canyon. The Nature's Grasp does land. Lettuce perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Under 400 health. However, the return damage onto Traveler Paul is not anything to sneeze at. Could be a little bit dangerous.
To sneeze at. It is getting a lot dangerous for Lettuce, I think. It's, you know, one more light binding, one more
hook lands onto Traveler Paul. The trap will go down. Traveler Paul is going to fall here. However, the Ignite lands onto Lettuce. Cold-Hearted is going to get that kill. Will fall to the Thresh, but that is a 2-for-1 in favor of ASO. Rift Herald, meanwhile, dropped in the mid lane. Is going to get the charge off before falling, so that's 2 turret plays gifted over to Yushu Yoshi and Just Canyon. Small gains in exchange for medium losses here. Zarathai, is this a winning formula for the side of Anza White?
It could be. It really could be. The gold, while, you know, it's accelerated quite significantly, hasn't actually shifted that much between the two teams.
Malzahar ultimate coming out. Lux ult as well. Flash forward from Yoshiyoshi to dodge the Scatter of the Weak is going to be enough. Shizumoto falls in the mid lane with help from Cold-Hearted.
Shizumoto walks right back into the Voidlings. That's a pause for some reason.
Yeah, we are in a pause state now. Not quite sure what's going on, but we're going to go ahead and hold for now.
It is the... what is it? Always slept on wife. Apparently, or always slept on support, needs a minute to go help their wife.
Well, we'll give them that time and be back shortly. We're going to send it to a short break while the teams are in pause. When we come back, the finale of what is already a massively bloody game, 13 kills to 9 in favor of ASO, but with only 12 minutes having passed, with over nearly 2 kills a minute, it's still anyone's game. We'll be right back with more action, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks. Pause has been completed, and we are back on the Rift. Kled ult being popped in the top side completely whiffs, as it looks like Kasuzu's going to be able to stick behind enemy lines and get away. No success in the gank there. However, Hold My Poodle is going to find them here in the river. Flashes burned on both sides. Kasuzu is going to get the kill, however, is going to fall to Derpington. That's 350 gold in the pockets of the Quinn. That is going to be an angle for Anza White to take this Cloud Drake. Will be their first of the game, the first Drake of the game, actually. And they're going to be uncontested without the jungler on the map. So, some
I think
neutral
overall
objectives being
positive.
taken. Yeah, however, stun landing here in the mid lane. Yoshi is going to disappear. Derpington does get dismounted once again, and with 3 members rotating over, has to run away. But Shizumoto starting to do some serious damage with the Syndra. That single ball taking a whole chunk out of Cold-Hearted, Traveler, and Just Canyon.
Yeah, I mean, while we're talking about Syndra dealing damage, I want to highlight the itemization and what I think is some very interesting itemization. Actually,
Are we
pretty
talking
heads
about the
up by
Night
Shizum.
Harvester?
I was getting there, I'm getting there. Okay, we gotta build up to it, right? We're starting with the Merc Treads. The Syndra's Merc Treads. I feel like Syndra's one of the champions where you actually don't want to give up your ability to just have more raw penetration. Especially given that, realistically, you should never be hit by any crowd control that's reducible by Merc Treads.
Derpington flashing forward onto Kasuzu. Pocket Pistol going to come out here shortly, likely. No, Derpington's just going to do it with auto attacks. Now on a killing spree at 5, 1, and 2. The Kled is ahead, indeed. Hold My Poodle finds the ultimate from Yoshi. Uses the smite, actually, to break the spell shield, and is going to survive the Kingslayer just barely enough. Traveler Paul now in trouble, is going to fall to the Piltover Peacemaker. Headshot King, able to just face tank things at this point, may only have the Aegis of the Legion, but standing strong like a full phalanx here.
That was actually kind of nuts. A really good series of play by All We Slept On. I'm impressed that
this top turret's going to fall before Kasuzu gets here. Top turret is dead. Derpington going back in onto Kasuzu. Lands the bear trap on a rope. Kasuzu is going to use the knockback. Can he find the kill onto Derpington? One last auto attack. No. Quinn gets the kill. 600 gold shutdown.
Derpington greeting a lot too hard.
But did get the second turret, continuing to push this split wave advantage and forcing the side of DAW to split in 15-20 minutes. That could be a major issue, but right now, with just the Ravenous Hydra, not enough to cause a problem.
Yeah, not going to be too big of an issue just yet. He is going for the lethality item second. I believe that's almost certainly going to be Eclipse. I'm not too familiar with what Kled builds, but I don't imagine it's going to be Duskblade.
Clearly, he's just going to buy an Ember Glaive. Just wants the vision control.
Oh, yeah.
The only top laner on Earth to care about vision.
Holy cow. Alright, it's OCL After Dark hours, ladies and gentlemen.
No. I have a reason to say that. I am an ex-support main who became a top laner. So I generally have...
You immediately became allergic to control wards.
No. I generally have about 75% of the vision score of my supports in my games. When I look at the enemy team, they have maybe 5 for the entire game.
Hey, as an ADC player, I have a very similar number. It's off by a factor of 10, so it's 7.5% of my supports, but, I like to feel pretty good about that one.
Look at Lettuce. Lettuce is sitting at 21 vision score right now. That's pretty incredible.
Holy cow.
Headshot King might be in a little bit of trouble going into the middle of 3. However, the entirety of ASO is on the way. Headshot King is going to fall, but Derpington in very deep does find the pull onto Yoshi. Just Canyon running out of health. However, Hold My Poodle being run down on the backside by Kasuzu.
Oh my god!
The ultimate coming out of Yoshi does find the kill onto Lettuce, who is now falling. Every member of ASO has fallen just at the expense of Just Canyon, and that's a 5-for-1 ace by Anza White.
That was the sickest play by Just Canyon in that moment. The flash into the Bramble Smash knocks everyone into Swain's E. Incredible. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that in quite some time in Amateur here.
Yeah, this may be OCL After Dark, but we're getting LCS plays, it feels like. This is a game, Zarathai. We are still sitting at 2 kills a minute, and it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if we were going to be made to stay up this late for a game, this is how it should be played. It is the most bloodthirsty games. Neither team is willing to give an inch if they cannot absolutely fight for it. But what this does mean is for Always Slept On, their gold lead has been dwindling constantly since the first 5 minutes of the game. They had a 3,000 gold lead at 5 or 6 minutes, and now it's 800 gold separating the two teams, practically in spitting distance. Very similar item completions.
They will get this Drake here, however, all of the CC coming down onto the Sylas immediately. Derpington will be the next sacrifice, trying to go in onto Kazuzu, but does not quite have the damage. Actually might. Gets remounted here. Kazuzu does, in fact, fall. However, the root lands onto Shizumoto, who's now forced to run away. Gets hit by the Visions of Empire, and Traveler Paul continuing to chase them down, looking for the angle. Flash forward from Cold Hearted, trying to land the Lucent Singularity, but does not quite have the angle, but the Light Binding does. Scatter the Weak is not enough. The shutdown goes over to Cold Hearted, who is now 3-3-6. And Shizumoto struggling to avoid those CCs.
Yeah, really having a hard time being able to get away from the support Lux in this game.
Yeah, it's full AP Lux. Might as well be mid Lux.
Oh, well, that's every support Lux, though.
Yeah, true. Is that a Rift Herald into Baron angle I see from Anza White? Looks like they did take... Yoshi's gonna die.
The flash was a little excessive. Don't think that needed the flash from Headshot King. It is... Did they get the Rift Herald?
They did get the Rift Herald. It is currently sitting on Traveler Paul.
Okay, so, I mean, they did pick up the Rift Herald. It's such a weird game because I genuinely cannot predict what either of these teams is going to do. And right as I say that, they immediately go onto the Baron.
Just a 20-minute Baron without the ADC. Sure, why not? This makes just as much sense as any of the other. ADC. Just Canyon is here, as is Traveler Paul. However, there's no one else in the area, so this is a numbers advantage. Kasuzu on the way. Traveler Paul down under half health as Handshot King going in very, very deep. The jungler is already dead.
Baron.
Both of the members of DAW are dead as well, though. Lettuce down under half health as Derpington chasing down Kasuzu. Does get dismounted, though. Pocket Pistol, is it going to be enough? Looks like no, but Cold Hearted in very, very deep is going to be the next to fall. Behind enemy lines, re-triggered for Kasuzu, looking for a re-engage as these members are so low. However, Lettuce moving forward with the Gale Force is able to secure the kill. Now it's just Yoshi trying to pick off these so low health members of the side of ASO. Will not have it. Yoshi waiting on that flash, still has 19 seconds, cannot find Shizumoto here. And that will be a 4-for-1 in favor of Always Slept On.
Yeah, I mean, right as we're talking about how the gold lead has gone to effectively nil, we see just the silliest of plays turn into the silliest of fights, turn into a 2,000 gold lead, which, I mean, at this point in the game, I'm not sure that a 2,000 gold lead constitutes anything. I'm not going to get too excited about it, all right? I've seen what these teams are capable of, and I would expect nothing less than a 10,000 gold lead being able to be swung.
I shuddered to think about the gold graph after this game. It's going to look like the Himalayas, I swear.
It's going to look like what I designed in Roller Coaster Tycoon from a Kellogg's cereal box at the age of 6.
Rift Herald being dropped in the bot lane here, looking for a push. However, Kasuzu and Traveler Paul have both abandoned it. Charge is popped, looking for anyone, will find Cold Hearted. Cold Hearted running out of health very quickly, will immediately fall. Derpington does get dismounted though. The ult stolen from Lux. However, here comes Just Canyon, gets a 4-man Bramble Smash, and the health bars now disappearing. 2 members, 3 members are already dead for ASO. 4 members will fall. It's just Hold My Poodle left, and he may not be able to survive. Behind enemy lines being triggered, trying to chase down this Sylas, who is pretty fast with that Abscond Abduct. Looks like will be just fast enough, gets over the base wall, and there is nothing that Kasuzu can do to chase him down. But that is still a 4-for-1, and it looks like Anza White wants a Baron.
Yeah, Anza White wants the Baron. They have every right to it. Hold My Poodle left holding the bag after everyone on his team takes a quick dirt nap. I'm really unsure of why they just keep going for these fights. They're opting into the strangest numbers disadvantages, and
there's enough time for a steal here. Hold My Poodle can get here in time for a steal. He's going over the wall, 3,000 health, looking for it, 2,000, down to 1,200, and he steals the Baron! He's gonna die for it, but he stole the Baron Nasher.
Oh my lord. And it goes on to all 4 of his teammates.
Zarathai, the hell am I watching?
Aulz, I will be 100% honest with you and stating that this is, in fact, the purest form of OCL and the way the game was meant to be played. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like.
Yeah, peak performance is apparently having Baron stolen from you and then losing Drake on the back end of it.
Oh my gosh. No way,
right? No way we
Drake
see
doesn't go down
steal.
That fast.
Lettuce doing work. It's down under 5k, however, the Nature's Grasp is popped. Yoshiyoshi is a threat. The ultimate could come out. Shizumoto down under half. Traveler Paul is behind. Shizumoto's down under 200 health. Lettuce in trouble now, using the Tilts over Peacemaker and the 90 caliber net, but it will not be enough. Headshot King is the next to fall. Derpington trying to remount, trying desperately, but cannot get any more auto attacks. That's a double kill for Yoshiyoshi. Here comes Hold My Poodle, but it's just him and a very low health Shizumoto, so there is next to nothing that this ASO team can do except try and delay this Drake, or potentially send in Hold My Poodle for another suicide steal. And it looks like they're just going to do the smart thing. This is only the second Drake taken by Anza White, so they're just going to let it go.
Of the game.
Oh, hey.
We're fighting like this for the 3rd dragon of the game, the 2nd dragon for either team, and we're going for a 4-man start on the dragon with every single member of the enemy team alive, and no jungler. And then we're not going to run away from the fight afterwards, because of course we're not.
54 kills at 25 minutes. If there's anything
think it's possible for us to reach 2.5 kills per minute?
Well, I was going to say, if there's anything positive in terms of making this game look remotely sane, it's that death timers are going to get long enough that they can't make it any worse.
That's true. At some point, the carnage has to stop. Right?
Oh, one would think. There's no neutral objectives for 4 minutes here. Baron spawning about 30 seconds ahead of the Drake, so both of those will be up at the same time, assuming we don't have a game-ending fight before then.
Is Shizumoto the only person left alive with that purple dress on himself? And it's, it doesn't really matter. It's going away in about 20 seconds. There's nothing they can push. There's no neutral objectives, so there's no reason for anyone to be out there. It's 3 minutes to either objective. So all these 2 teams have to do is sit tight, relax, farm up, and are they going to do that?
Like fun.
I mean,
Zarathai, that does not sound like fun. We have a lethality Kled. We're here for fun. We're not here for a good time.
That is 100% true. We also have a Caitlyn building Hex Drinker and Merc Treads. I mean,
given the builds of the enemy team, valid, but Kasuzu's still a threat to her, but everyone else will be significantly less of a threat to the Caitlyn. She'll be able to tank a little bit from Canyon, Yushu, Paul, and Cold Hearted, but oi.
Yeah, it's just really sad for Caitlyn to not be able to get to your 3rd crit item immediately. Because, that's going to delay, or extend rather, how long she's in that power trough for. So, we've seen how these fights really suck for Always Left On when Lettuce just can't do damage. Lettuce isn't getting any crits. Lettuce isn't getting any significant headshots. Like, he's able to chunk out Traveler Paul every now and then. But Traveler Paul has that great Swain ultimate that just slurps up a bunch of health from all the enemies.
And Traveler Paul getting tankier and tankier with each passing moment, sitting at over 3,000 health at the moment, almost as tanky as just Canyon.
Yeah, and Just Canyon also has the Radiant Virtue, so there's another factor making it even harder for or sorry, for All We Slept On to be able to punch their way through the fights. Now we do see the Rabadon's Death Cap completed for Shizumoto, so that's going to be a large increase in damage, not a whole lot of magic resist on the side of the Anza White. In fact, the only magic resist is going to be the Wit's End, owned by one Kosuzu.
Yeah, which I suspect was not built with magic resist in mind, but more with stats. But will serve the purpose anyway. Kosuzu is pretty fast at the moment, and against all odds, we have seen the teams sit back and actually avoid fights. Not intentionally, perhaps, but they have avoided them for the past couple of minutes. And we are back down below 2 kills a minute.
Yeah, we're finally below 2 kills a minute, I think, for the first time this game.
Wait,
And,
hold on a second.
You know,
is Radiant Virtue the Thresh Lantern in that skin?
in this skin?
It looks very similar.
All right, let me zoom all the way in. No.
It's not the same. It's just very similar. Okay.
Yeah, more similar than it has any right to be.
Apologies, folks on stream. We're just having a moment.
Yeah, listen, you want OCL After Dark, you get all of OCL After Dark, you know? You gotta take the good with the bad. The good is that the stream is happening at all, and the bad is that I am here and this game is happening currently.
Well, we might see our next fight. Kosuzu is going to find Shizumoto. However, the immediate ace in the hole coming out. Kosuzu forced to use that stopwatch and is going to be surrounded here. Kosuzu disappearing like a light, but Lettuce is going to be the next to fall. Traveler Paul picking that one up. Derpington is doing a ton of damage to that Swain, though, down under 1,000 health, but the suppression coming out. Yushiyoshi picks off the Thresh. Hold My Poodle is going to be the next to fall, as Derpington cannot put down enough damage to avoid the healing from the Demonic Ascension. It's just going to be Shizumoto surviving, and 4 kills are secured in what was ostensibly a Drake fight, but might just be the end of the game.
Yeah, I think they're going for the ending. They have 20-second timers on 2 people, only Shizumoto up.
Yeah, Shizumoto does have pretty good wave clear. Cold-Hearted and Traveler Paul are very, very low. It's just Yushiyoshi who can willingly push this forward. Is doing a pretty good job of it at the moment. Cold-Hearted would be hit by a Scatter the Weak.
Oh.
And Cold-Hearted is going to be cold hard in the ground.
Yep, it's just a bit of a silly game, I think. You know, it feels like everyone Always Slept On is kind of allergic to positioning or dodging abilities. And, you know, unfortunately for them, that means that it's going to be massively to the advantage of Anza White, who have those sort of Unga Bunga hit face ultimates, especially in the Demonic Ascension, where you just get so much value from being able to stand on top of your opponents. He has the Rylai's now on top of the Shadow Flame and the Luden's... Wait, a Luden's Echo?
Interesting choice. I didn't notice that. I feel like the Leandres is absolutely the move here, or at the very least an Everfrost. Lock him down even more.
Yeah, no, it's
Ultimate coming in from the Kled will follow Yushu over the wall, doing a lot of damage to the Malzahar.
Ooh!
Might actually get the kill. Pocket Pistol is blocked by the Crabs, though. Just Canyon gets the first kill on to Headshot King, as finally Kled tracks down the Malzahar. Lettuce now in trouble, however, lands the root onto Traveler Paul, will secure the kill, and suddenly it's a 3-for-1 in favor of ASO. Because of course it is.
Why is this happening? Why is this happening? They're not fighting over anything. They're just fighting.
Blood for the Blood God.
You know, I'd understand all. I'm always a big fan of Blood for the Blood God. I have to be real with you. That accidental cancel of the Nether Grasp by Derpington with the bear trap on a rope was hilarious. You have to feel so bad as Yushiyoshi. Just knowing that there is no one to blame but yourself for that not being the freest kill of your life.
Yeah, I mean, you took the Kled all the way over the wall into what was essentially a 5-man encirclement, and you couldn't secure the kill. That hurts.
Yeah, that hurts. And I also can't help but feel that, if Traveler Paul had perhaps the Leandri's anguish, Lettuce would not have survived that encounter with 100 HP, or any HP, in fact.
Yeah, might have survived that encounter with negative HP.
Ah, which, yes, life in the negative J direction.
Feels like my engineering homework. Well, time for a Baron throw. Headshot King lands the hook onto Just Canyon. Just Canyon taking a fair bit of damage over the wall, gets stunned up by the Scatter of the Weak. Just Canyon is going to secure the Baron. The stun comes out, the suppression on to hold my Poodle. This is going to be the fight that decides it. Here comes the Kled onto Just Canyon. However, the stopwatch is enough to keep him alive. The Syndra is dead. It's just Derpington and Lettuce left, and Derpington is not enough frontline. ASO has, against all odds, found themselves being the ones sleeping here. And Anza White will somehow manage to claw their way back to a victory here. I still don't know what I watched.
After a 3,000 gold deficit.
At 4 minutes?
At 6 minutes!
Oy vey. I don't have answers. Kasuzu is going to get the Guardian Angel popped, but Lettuce dies. Lettuce is dead.
Lettuce is indeed dead. Wait, I just noticed. Lettuce did not take cleanse.
No, Lettuce took Ghost. That was a video game. That was a video game.
Of all the games of League of Legends which ever have been played, that was most certainly one.
Yeah, it's about how I feel. I don't even know what to say as postgame, because that was just two masses of players smacking at each other with no rhyme or reason. It felt it was just violence, just incredible violence.
Yeah, I mean, what it really came down to is neither team was willing to accept anything other than the pace of the game they wanted to play at. And that pace of the game happened to be foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, no brain, no eyeballs, no hands either, in fact. Just going for it. Go for the throat.
Pure head empty. Well,
no
we're going to
step aside. Empty.
We're going to step aside for just a couple of minutes to let these teams get ready for game number 2. However, when we come back, Anza White looks to close out this best of 3, and ASO looks to send us to a third game. We're going to be right back, so don't go anywhere.
15% des CD restants, 0.15% de global, mais... Regarde, là je vais te montrer, je vais appuyer sur Z avec Z, tu vas voir le CD comme il descend à chaque auto. Ça c'est Navoris ça. Ok, j'arrive.